Amen. 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 You see my boys last night? Did you see my fucking boys last night? Them boys is out there hooping. Shout out KD. Shout out Kyrie. Shout out Andre Drummond. Shout out Clax. Shout out Seth Curry for coming around and hooping on the bad ankle. Shout out. Oh, let me transfer the mic off. Bow. Who else I'm shouting out? Fuck it. I'm giving Steve Nash a shout out. Shout out to you, my boy. Shout out to Kyrie Irving again, because Kyrie Irving is the best player in basketball. All right, I'm lying. I'm being hyperbolic. But listen, bro. Yesterday was a crazy game. Yesterday was a wild game. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for the game to be like not really as close as, you know what I'm saying, the final score said it was, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think the final difference was like 7 points. I believe the Nets won by 7. But listen, from start to finish, like, the Nets were in control of that game. You know what I'm saying? The Nets were in control of that game, and now they're headed towards Boston to go ahead and face the Celtics. In the last video, I ain't gonna lie, I keep forgetting that the Boston Celtics are a really good team now. Not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? They were really trash in the season, you know what I'm saying? They were like a 24 and 24 team. But yeah, listen, they flipped that switch since the New Year's, and I haven't been able to catch up with many games of them, even though I know like kind of like how they've been playing. I haven't been able to catch that many games of them. So, you know what I'm saying? I just forget sometimes that they're like this powerhouse now, essentially. You know what I'm saying? They're one of the best teams in the league. You know what I'm saying? One of the most dangerous teams in the league. But we will talk about the Celtics when we get to the Celtics. But before we get to the Celtics, what's going on, y'all? This is your boy. It is your man. It is your player. It is Joe Part JP, and I am back in the motherfucking building. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everybody is having a good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time you're catching this video. I hope that you are lit. You know what I'm saying? And listen, let's just go ahead and recap this video, man. I'm not even trying to waste too much into the intro. We're going to jump right into it. Like, share, subscribe, and let's go. All right. So last night was a great game, man. Like I said before, last night was amazing from start to finish, whether it be Kyrie's performance, whether it be KD's performance, whether it be Claxton's performance, whether it be Bruce Brown's performance, whether it be Andre Drummond's performance. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about what happened last night in this game. So let's go ahead and let's take it from the top. You know what I'm saying? So the Nets were able to defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers last night and advance on to the first round of the NBA playoffs, where they will face the Boston Celtics. All right, so that was the first playing game, right? And going into the game, I will say I was a little nervous. You know what I'm saying? The been kind of turbulent and up and down the entire season, so expecting them to come out and play full 48 minutes of basketball, I'll be honest with you, wasn't really too confident in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they had lost this game, I would have been upset, but I feel like they still could have bounced back and won the next game. But the way how they came out in the first quarter of this game really set the tone for really like the rest of the game. You know what I'm saying? They took the game by the chokehold in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? They're up by 40-20. You know what I'm saying? KD, he doesn't miss a shot. He's shooting, he doesn't miss a shot. We got Patty Mills knocking down threes, you know what I'm saying? We got Nick Claxton hitting top of the key jump shots, you know what I'm saying? It was just a game where in the first 12 minutes of that game, you could say that, hey, listen, the game's over, man. I could tell a whole bunch of people were on Twitter talking about, oh, listen, it is what it is, Cleveland. Good try, you know what I'm saying? Better look against Atlanta or Charlotte. But yeah, the Nets are moving on, you know what I'm saying? But thing that always happens with the Nets happened once again. They went through a streak in the second quarter for about 4 to 5 minutes where they weren't able to put any points on the board. Now, those moments scare me. Those moments scare me because in a game against Cleveland, that's not going to come back to bite you all that much. So I'm going to take my glasses off because I don't want to get the glare off, get the glare from the window on my shit. All right, so in a game against Cleveland, you can get away with, you know what I'm saying, not scoring for 5 minutes because Cleveland shot like terrible yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I think in the first quarter they missed like 12 threes or something like that. They had a lot of good looks to it. I wouldn't even say the Knicks. I wouldn't even say the Nets were coming out here and playing excellent defense, but the Cavs were just missing. Darius Garland was missing. I believe in the first half, Karis LeVert was 1 for 9. Kevin Love wasn't hitting. You know what I'm saying? Mobley was kind of just pedestrian. That 4 to 5 minute stretch really could have changed the whole tone for the entire game, because in a game where you're playing against a good team, say you're playing against a Boston, say you're playing against a Milwaukee, a Miami, you know what I'm saying? You're playing an upper echelon team. If you're playing an upper echelon team, you're not going to be able to go 5 minutes without scoring a point and expecting that this team is not going to blow you out the water in those 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So there comes a time where, and the thing is, I believe that in the second quarter, Nash was staggering KD and Kyrie. He didn't play that much together in the second quarter. After the first quarter, they played most of the first quarter. But in the second quarter, he definitely staggered the minutes, and the offense offense still struggled. You know what I'm saying? They had some stupid turnovers. I believe they stepped out of bounds on the sideline. I want to say 3 or 4 times, one time on the baseline. They made a lot of like really boneheaded mistakes. And when I was watching the game, it was really getting me mad because it's like you want the team that, bury these guys. You know what I'm saying? This is a team that has championship aspirations. This team is expected to be one of the best teams in the league. They're the favorites to win the championship. But there's plenty of times this season where we've seen they just go on little streaks, little runs where they just aren't able to put the ball in the basket, which is amazing to us because it's supposed to be an amazing offensive team. And they were playing against a Cavs team that doesn't have Jared Allen. They could essentially get to the rim on demand, and they just weren't able to, you know what I'm saying, keep pulling away, and that credit can go towards that credit can go to Cleveland. Cleveland did come out and they played hard, you know what I'm saying. They didn't necessarily play all that great. I won't say that. Karis LeVert, he didn't really have a great game. K Love didn't have really a great game. Darius Garland, he came on strong in that second quarter, from the second quarter on, but you could tell that this Cleveland team, they're just incomplete without Jared Allen. Without Jared Allen, they don't have enough scoring. They don't have enough defense to keep up with teams anymore. And they were a 4 seed. They were a 4 seed in the Eastern Conference towards the beginning of the season, all the way up until the All-Star break, I'll say, I believe. So they were that 4 seed all the way up into the All-Star break, and then they just started falling apart. Darius Garland, he has an excellent All-Star season, but Mobley goes down. Jared Allen goes down. Beginning of the season, Rubio and Sexton go down. Rondo gets hurt. You know what I'm saying? So they were just the team was they were falling apart. So this is really the matchup that the Nets wanted. But even in that, they still didn't really take the game as a chokehold and really dominate in the fashion that you expected. Even coming out of halftime, I will say, they did do a good job of picking the energy back up. Because going into the half, the lead was starting to dwindle. That second quarter, I believe they only scored 18 points. Then the second quarter, they only scored 18 points. So Cleveland is able to keep the game close, bring the lead down to, I believe, 10. You know what I'm saying? I believe, maybe like around 10, 12. And if not for a couple of KD jump shots and a couple of Kyrie jump shots, hey, you know what I'm saying? There's a possibility that we go into the half with a 4-point, 8-point ball game, anything in that range. But we get Kyrie, he's able to up the lead up to 17. And coming out of halftime, this team did something that, I'll be honest with you, I have not seen happen very often. I haven't seen happen very often with the Brooklyn Nets this season. They came out in the second half. They came out with just as much energy as they had in the first quarter. And it was great to see. They played excellent defense. They were blocking shots. Nick Claxton had a great block on Kevin Love. Kevin Durant played excellent defense the entire game. From him coming out, I believe he had 25 and 11. He makes his 4 shots. He ends up, I believe, only missing like 3 or 4 for the entire game. Dishes out 11 assists. Has 3 blocks. He played an overall amazing game. He played a real complete game. And it actually takes me to a little tangent that I have. Something that I noticed about Kevin Durant lately is that he's kind of taken on this role that I've seen Kobe take during the 2013 season when they were fighting to get into that playoff position. If you're a Laker fan, you probably know what I'm talking about. But during that stretch, at one point, Kobe became basically the point guard of the Lakers. I believe Steve Nash was hurt, so I keep saying Kyrie. Kobe had to be the primary ball handler for the team. And with him doing that, he had to be the main distributor. And mind you, this is only a team that has, Jody Meeks, Antoine Jameson, Dwight Howard, Earl Clark. It's not necessarily a great team. But Kobe was out there and playing real surgical basketball. If you go on YouTube and you look up Los Angeles Lakers versus Oklahoma City Thunder, I believe it was a Sunday Showcase game or an ESPN Friday game, Kobe was out there dishing the rock. Kobe was out there dropping off passes, hitting dudes with pick and roll passes, skip passes to 3-point shooters, throwing lobs to Dwight. The thing that people say Kobe is not known for, Kobe can't do, he came out and he did it. And if you watch Undisputed, you watch any of these sports media shows, they always talk about how Kevin Durant, he can't do what LeBron does. He's never had to take on the responsibility that LeBron has. Well, for the main reason that they're not the same player, one, but let's start there. For the main reason is that they're not the same player. They're not asked to do that. So expecting Kevin Durant to come out and average a triple-double when LeBron James is known as an offense, he does everything on the offensive end. KD is strictly known as a bucket getter. That's ridiculous to expect KD to be on the same level as LeBron when it comes to playmaking. But, however, Just because somebody is not doing something does not mean they do not have the ability to do something. So while Kobe Bryant was an excellent offensive player, he had the footwork, he had the post game, he has 3-point shooting, he has mid range, he has free throws, everything when it comes to that pertains to basketball, Kobe Bryant can do. Kevin Durant is in the same facet of that. He can do everything on the basketball court. He's just an excellent offensive player. He can score anywhere on the court. So he's gonna do what he's best at. But when you put him in a position where he has to bring out a new facet to his game and start playing point guard and has to come out and drop 11 assists, or he can come out and he can drop 12 assists in a half in the season finale, it puts you in a position where you're like, yo, this guy has this too? He's got this too? He can get a bucket from anywhere on the court, and he can also be the team's distributor? What? It's been amazing for me to watch. I've been super excited, and that's something that, like, going into the playoffs, I will definitely be keeping my eyes on. Just for the main fact that, hey, if KD is able to be a person who can get a bucket from anywhere on the court, as well as being a guy who's going to give you 8+ assists every single night, yo, that takes this Brooklyn team to a whole new level. It takes them to places that, hey, this takes them even past a championship for this season. If they're able to turn Kevin Durant into a de facto playmaker as well, man, can you imagine what the rest of the league has to do with? That junk will be ridiculous. But listen, let's go ahead. Let's talk. Actually, before I transition into Nets Celtics talk, let me talk about Kyrie real quick. All right, so listen, y'all. Peep game. Kyrie Irving, and I need y'all to hear me out, what I'm about to say. Hear me out, okay? Because I was talking with my boys in the group chat, and we were trying to get on a level of understanding here, and I believe we were able to do so. So, Kyrie Irving is the greatest basketball player under the height of 6'9", that is not LeBron James. We're going to let that sit for a minute. We're going to think about it some more. And then we're going to talk about how right I am. Because listen, y'all, what can't Kyrie do? What can he do? He comes out, he hits his first 12 jump shots of the game, including some jump shots that was just wild and had no business going in. And I mean no business going in. That shot he took at the end of the first half had no business going in. That step back three he took on Lauri Markkanen in the second quarter, or first quarter, no business going in. But he's just that level of bucket. He's just that level. And when you throw in the fact that the dude also had 12 assists from the guy who's not a point guard, from the scorer, he's strictly a scorer. He came out and gave you 12 dimes. No way, bro. No way. Listen, bro, Kyrie was ridiculous last night. He really showed what I was talking about in the last video when it pertained to clutch player, the clutchest player on the Nets. I believe that KD is overwhelmingly the best player on the team. Kyrie Irving is far and away the best clutch option for this team, and I'm not even necessarily talking in the last 5 minutes. I'm talking about, hey, we got a big game, bro. We need buckets. We need you to come out and play defense. We need you to put your heart on the line. Kyrie's that dude. Kyrie is that dude. And if you want to go 1A Kyrie, 1B KD, won't even be mad at you. If you want to go 1A KD, 1B Kyrie, not mad at you. But for me, I personally feel like Kyrie is the best clutch player in basketball. Not the last 5 minutes, and for any clutch scenario, any clutch game outside of LeBron James. All right. Had to give my boy Kyrie his love. I'm already rocking my boy's jersey. Cause listen, bro, when you hoop like that, and you go and you come back and you hit 12 for 12 shots in the between the first 3 quarters, you got it, gang, for sure, you got it. But all right, let's go. Let's go ahead and let's move on to our next opponent, which will be the Boston Celtics. Now, as I've been saying, I have not been extremely up to speed with what's been going on in Boston as it pertains to how they've been dominating, but I do know that they are the number 1 defensive team in the league. I do know they have 2 excellent big wings that are I'll tell you right now, they're going to cause fits for the Nets. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to cause fits, and they have excellent perimeter defenders. And for a team whose best players are perimeter players, that's kind of scary. Not going to lie. So, listen, going into the series, the Nets are Bruce Brown already decided to come out and tell the game plan. The game plan essentially is going to be to attack Al Horford and Daniel Tice. Now, to a degree, that could definitely work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, to a certain extent. When it comes to pick and rolls, the Celtics are known to switch everything. You know what I'm saying? With them having such excellent perimeter defenders, they have no problem switching off players, switching off defensive strategies and whatnot, and switching players and giving new matchups, and, you know what I'm saying, being okay with what they can get with, you know what I'm saying, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Grant Williams, Robert Williams when he's healthy. So that leaves, with them being a switching team, that leaves a lot of option for the Nets to break down a single player and to get to the rim. You know what I'm saying? It makes it so that the Nets are able to get into their matchups essentially however they want. All they need to do is set a screen, a cross screen, a down screen, and the Celtics are probably going to switch that, which could potentially be dangerous and leave shooters open like Seth Curry and Patty Mills and Bruce Brown, you know what I'm saying, leaving them wide open, giving them good looks. And if they knock down those looks, there's no reason why the Nets can't win a series like that, you know. But I'll be completely honest with you. I'm terrified of the fact that the Nets have to face Jaylen Brown. I know Jason Tatum is that dude. Jason Tatum gave them 54 the last time they played. But if you ask me, the most dangerous, not the best, but the most dangerous player on the Celtics is Jaylen Brown. Because when Jaylen Brown is on, when he's on offensively and defensively, he's borderline unstoppable, I feel like. Everybody knows who Jason Tatum is on the offensive end. I'm not going to go ahead and, yes, Jason Tatum is all NBA. You know what I'm saying? He's a great player, excellent player. Yeah. But Jaylen Brown to me is the guy who really puts fear in my heart because he's got a full package. He's got it all. He's got the handles. He's got the playmaking. He's got the ability to get to score a bucket really on anybody. He's a tall, long body. He can shoot over anybody. And then on the defensive end, he's a demon. You know, so for a team that, you know what I'm saying, historically Kyrie has struggled against since leaving Boston. You don't want him to have to see Marcus Smart and then set a screen. Now he has to see Jaylen Brown, and you know what I'm saying, that stuff taxes on your body as series go on. And if they are able to get out of round one, you got to think about energy going into round two, facing against a Milwaukee, having played such a physical Boston team in the first round. With all this being said, it's also stated that Robert Williams could potentially be coming back at some point in this series, and if he comes back, that changes a whole dynamic. You know, I'm not entirely sure what you get from a Robert Williams that's missed the last couple weeks due to a torn, but hey, listen, Robert Williams coming back and being even 70% of what he's been this season would be terrible for the Nets, because the Nets do not have excellent they do not have good rim protection. You know, they do not have good rim protection, and essentially if they're not able to score into the paint, if they go cold, hey, listen, they can get blown out by these Celtics. They can get blown. These Celtics are so capable. They're so capable, you know. Derek White, he's been doing his thing. Grant Williams, he's been doing his thing for the Celtics. This team, the Boston Celtics, are a very strong, well-rounded team that deserves absolute respect. And with that being said, I'm gonna have to come out here and say Nets in 6. The Nets are gonna win this game in 6, and let me tell you why. They got the two best players on the court, and in the playoffs, essentially what it comes down to. You know, what it comes down to is who's got the guys. We're playing multiple games here. You know, if we're talking about regular season games, there's a possibility that a team could come out here and defensively suffocate us for one game, and then we don't have time to adjust to it, so we just get blown out. Hey, whatever, man. We got another game in a couple days. But in a playoff series, you're given a chance to game plan. And I feel like the one thing that really hurts defenses in any sport is the fact that when somebody's able to see defense for an extended period of time, especially smart players. They got smart players like Kyrie, smart players like KD. You know what I'm saying? You got in a guy like Steve Nash. These are all smart guys who are, you get the same look 4, 5, 6, 7 games. Eventually, they're going to catch on to it. They're going to catch on to what you guys like to do, and they're going to attack your weaknesses, and that's what I kind of anticipate the Nets doing. You know, the Celtics are going to come out there. They're going to play their switch defense. They're probably going to play a little bit of drop coverage or something, you know, because they feel that their perimeter players will be able to recover. But that's going to leave a whole bunch of mid-range jump shots for the Nets. The Nets are an excellent mid-range jump shooting team. And if the mid-range jump shot gets going, that just gives more confidence to your shooters, more confidence to your Bruce Browns and your Patty Mills and your Seth Currys. And yeah. So listen, bro, there's a lot that goes into the series, and essentially it'll come down to is what's better, the Celtics defense over 7 games or the Nets offense for 7 games. And I feel like in the NBA, it's an offensive league. So I have faith in the 2 best offensive players of this generation to come out and do what they need to do and to get this get us out of the first round and back to round 2, so we can go ahead and get our revenge against Milwaukee, who we won in the first round, but they was ducking us in the first round. So with that being said, listen, bro, super hype. Shout out to Cleveland on an excellent season. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cleveland. Like I said in Basketball Weeklies, I hate this had to happen to y'all because y'all were a good story. Darius Garland, you still on my All NBA team, but you got to be on my All NBA team home from the couch, bro. So listen, with that being said, Game 1 is on Saturday, I believe. We got 3:30 tip off. I will be tuning in. I'm gonna try to get to Brooklyn for Game 3 or Game 4. I gotta see what the breach looking like. And listen, and we'll see how it goes. So let me know in the comments what you guys think is gonna happen in this series. Who do you guys have, Celtics or Nets, and in how many games? And listen, let's get into it. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all boys in the next video. Peace.